If you're watching this in 2026 because you want a money-saving SUV, let's get brutally specific. The biggest expense isn't the monthly payment you brag about. It's the silent bleed you don't notice. Fuel, depreciation, tires, brakes, insurance surcharges from safety ratings, and the one repair that hits right after the warranty ends. And here's the part that's going to mess with your head. Two SUVs can cost the same upfront, have the same monthly payment, and one will quietly drain you thousands more over 3 years because it's thirstier in real life, it depreciates harder, or it's the kind of techie vehicle that turns into a Christmas tree of warning lights the moment it crosses 50,000 miles. So in this video, I'm giving you 5 SUVs that, when you look at the full ownership picture, are positioned to save you the most money in 2026. Not by magic, but by the boring stuff that actually makes you rich. Higher real-world MPG, proven powertrains, resale strength, and fewer expensive surprises. And I'm going to do it in a way most reviewers avoid. I'll tell you where each one wins, where it can still cost you, and what you need to watch for so you don't get tricked by a spec sheet. Because one of these 5 has a reputation so strong, it can literally save you money the day you sell it. Another has warranty coverage that acts like a financial airbag. And one of them, yes, it's popular, can still punish you if you buy the wrong configuration. Keep listening, because the final SUV on this list is the one people underestimate. And it's exactly why so many owners quietly laugh all the way past 200,000 miles. First up, the Toyota RAV4. And if your goal is save the most money, you start here, because it's basically the default currency of resale value in the compact SUV world. For consumption, Toyota and independent testing both point to a very efficient setup. Toyota highlights up to an estimated 47 city, 40 highway MPG on its most efficient configuration. And Car and Driver notes up to about 44 MPG combined, depending on configuration, with real-world highway testing around the mid-30s in their 75 mph loop, which is the kind of number that matters if you actually drive interstate miles instead of living inside an EPA brochure. Now the engine. It's the familiar 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid system, and the key detail for your wallet is that Toyota is pushing solid output without asking you to live with a high-strung turbo. Figures commonly cited are about 226 horsepower in front-wheel drive hybrid form and about 236 horsepower when you step up to AWD. And that power delivery is exactly what you want for saving money, because it's smooth, low stress, and doesn't encourage you to drive like you're qualifying for Le Mans every on-ramp. For AWD, the practical explanation matters. The AWD version uses an electrified approach where the rear axle gets power via an additional electric motor, which means you get quick traction response in rain and light snow without the complexity of a traditional mechanical AWD system that's always spinning extra hardware. For real buyers, it's the difference between I can leave my driveway when it's wet and steep and I'm stuck because my front tires are bald and my SUV is lying to me. Space is one reason the RAV4 keeps printing money at resale. Toyota lists up to about 37.8 cubic feet of cargo capacity behind the second row, and the cabin packaging is simply easy to live with. Wide opening, decent load floor, and a back seat that's usable for adults without turning every road trip into a chiropractor fundraiser. Technology is strong where it counts. Modern infotainment with big screens on higher trims, and a comprehensive safety suite that helps keep insurance costs sane. Plus the simple fact that these systems are now mainstream enough that shops and dealers know how to service them without "we need to keep it for 2 weeks to diagnose a software ghost." Price is where people get emotional, so let's keep it factual. Toyota's site shows a starting MSRP of $31,900, while Car and Driver reports the 2026 RAV4 price is expected to start around $33,350, depending on trim, fees, and can climb significantly on higher trims. And that spread is exactly why you don't buy a RAV4 hybrid like you're ordering pizza. You pick the trim that protects your resale without paying for fluff you'll never use. Finally, the common complaints. Car and Driver testing has called out that the engine can get noisy under hard acceleration, and some interior materials/fit can feel cheaper than you expect at the higher prices. And that's the trade. Toyota saves you money over time, but it may not feel like the nicest thing for the money the day you drive it home. Next, the Honda CR-V, which is the quiet assassin pick because it saves you money in a different way. Excellent MPG without forcing you into a tiny compromised vehicle, and an ownership experience that tends to be low drama if you maintain it like an adult. For consumption, the EPA ratings reported by Car and Driver are very clear. Front-wheel drive CR-V hybrids are rated at 43 city, 36 highway, 40 combined. AWD versions at 40 city, 34 highway, 37 combined. And the Trail Sport Hybrid AWD is rated at 38 city, 33 highway, 35 combined. So your real decision is whether the traction and confidence of AWD is worth roughly a small MPG penalty. And in snow states or heavy rain regions, it often is, because avoiding one accident can erase years of fuel savings. For the engine, Honda's hybrid setup is rated at 204 horsepower, and what matters for your wallet is the way it delivers torque. You get that electric shove in the low speeds where you spend most of your life, which means it feels strong in traffic, without needing a big turbo that tempts you to hammer it and burn fuel. It's the kind of powertrain that quietly makes people keep their cars longer because it's simply pleasant. AWD in real life. Honda's real-time AWD isn't about rock crawling. It's about stability and traction when conditions are sketchy. Wet on-ramps, slushy intersections, gravel driveways, and that moment you're trying to pull out into traffic and a front tire spins. Practically, it can send torque rearward when it detects slip. And that's exactly the kind of small safety margin that reduces risk and stress, which is also a financial factor. Space is a CR-V superpower. It's one of the reasons it's repeatedly highlighted by reliability-focused evaluators and owner surveys. Because it's the rare compact SUV where adults fit comfortably in the second row, and the cargo area is genuinely usable. Consumer Report-style evaluations consistently emphasize that mix of efficiency and practicality. And that's why CR-V owners tend to keep them, and why used buyers pay up later. Technology is also a money factor here. Honda sensing safety systems are widely available across trims, and the infotainment is straightforward. Wireless smartphone integration, and on certain trims, Google built-in is available, so you're less likely to chase aftermarket fixes or get stuck in a weird proprietary ecosystem that becomes annoying 2 years in. Price. Edmunds lists the Sport Hybrid starting around $35,630. At $38,800 MSRP on Honda's own site, and higher trims like Sport Touring Hybrid climbing into the low 40Ks. So the save money move is usually a mid-trim hybrid that holds value without stacking options that won't come back at resale. Common issues, complaints, without the internet hysteria. People still gripe about road noise on certain tires. Some owners dislike the infotainment feel compared to flashier rivals. And hybrid towing limits are modest, meaning if you're trying to tow like you own a half-ton truck, you're shopping the wrong segment, and you'll pay for it in wear and regret. Third, the Kia Sportage, and this is the warranty as a weapon choice that can save you serious money if you're the kind of buyer who wants modern features but refuses to play financial roulette after year 5. For consumption, the truth is you need to choose the right drivetrain. Kia advertises up to 42 mpg combined on the most efficient configuration, while AWD versions can be around the mid-30s combined depending on trim. And third-party reviews note that real-world highway MPG can come in lower than the headline. So yes, it can be incredibly efficient, but only if you don't automatically pick AWD just because the badge sounds tougher. For the engine, you're looking at a turbocharged 1.6-liter hybrid setup with a combined output around 231 to 232 HP. And that matters because it's not only efficient, but legitimately punchy, which helps you avoid the "I need to upgrade to a bigger SUV for power" trap that costs people thousands. AWD practicality. On the hybrid side, AWD is mainly about all-weather traction and launch stability, not off-road heroics. It helps in rain and snow, and it can reduce wheel spin that chews through front tires. But the money angle is simple. If you live where you don't need it, FWD will usually save you more over time in fuel and sometimes in tire replacement costs. And you can still buy proper tires and be smarter than the weather. Space is one of the Sportage Hybrid's biggest financial advantages because it prevents upgrade spending. It has a reputation for roomy rear seat legroom and a very usable cargo area, meaning fewer people feel forced into a larger, more expensive 3-row SUV they don't truly need. Technology is loaded. Kia packs driver assistance and modern infotainment into trims that often undercut Japanese rivals on feature to dollar. And the 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty is the headline because it changes your risk profile. Fewer surprise bills in the years when many owners still owe money. Price is straightforward. Kia's own pricing announcement and build tools show the Sportage hybrid starting at about $30,490 MSRP, which can be a sweet spot if you want hybrid savings without immediately stepping into the mid to high 30Ks like many competitors. Common complaints? Some reviewers point out that certain configurations don't hit their EPA numbers in real highway loops. And as with many tech-heavy cabins, long-term satisfaction depends on how you feel about the interface and controls. So the money saver move is to test drive and make sure you don't hate the screen layout, because living with annoyance is how people trade in early and lose money. Fourth is the Hyundai Tucson, which earns its place here because it's a strong blend of efficiency, warranty coverage, and safety tech that can reduce the hidden costs of ownership, especially if you're the type who keeps a vehicle long enough for the math to matter. For consumption, Car and Driver notes EPA estimates up to 38 mpg city and 38 mpg highway on certain versions. And Edmunds MPG breakdown shows configurations like the Hybrid Blue hitting 38 mpg combined, while other trims can sit a bit lower in the mid-30s combined. So again, trim choice is your wallet's steering wheel. For the engine, the hybrid system's net output is commonly listed at about 231 horsepower, and even dealer spec pages show that system net power figure clearly. The important part is the torque behavior. Hybrids make daily driving smoother and reduce the rev-it-to-merge behavior that eats fuel and adds stress. AWD in practice. Hyundai's H-Track AWD is primarily there for stability, wet road confidence, and light snow capability. And because most Tucson hybrids are sold with AWD, you're often getting that traction without hunting for a rare configuration. Just remember, AWD also means you commit to tire matching rules, which is a small but real cost if you shred one tire and have to replace more than one to keep the system happy. Space is another reason it's a money saver. It's genuinely family usable, with comfortable second row room and cargo flexibility that keeps people from upsizing. And upsizing is where budgets go to die. Bigger SUVs mean bigger tires, bigger brakes, more fuel, and usually bigger depreciation hits. Technology is one of Tucson's calling cards. Hyundai loads driver assist features and modern displays, and those safety systems can reduce the chance of costly accidents. Plus, Hyundai's warranty strategy is part of the financial logic. If you're worried about long-term repair exposure, that coverage can matter more than a slightly higher resale number on paper. Price. Hyundai's own site shows a starting MSRP in the low 30Ks. $32,450 is commonly listed for entry hybrid configurations, and that's competitive for a hybrid AWD compact SUV in 2026. Common issues complaints, keeping it balanced. Some outlets have reported that real-world highway MPG can fall well below the EPA estimate in certain tests. And like any modern SUV packed with screens, long-term happiness depends on software stability and how you feel about the user interface. So the money-saving move is to buy it for what it is, a comfortable, efficient daily, rather than expecting it to drive like a sport SUV. Fifth, and this is where some people argue in the comments, the 2026 Subaru Forester. Because saving money isn't only MPG, it's also avoiding expensive failures and holding steady value in regions where AWD and safety are non-negotiable. For consumption, Subaru's own specs show up to 26 city, 33 highway MPG, and Car and Driver echoes that with the note that some trims drop about 1 MPG and the wilderness is lower. So you're not buying a Forester because it's the absolute MPG king, you're buying it because it's efficient enough while delivering a reliability and traction package that keeps you out of trouble. For the engine, you're looking at a 2.5-liter Subaru Boxer 4-cylinder as the core powertrain. And the reason this matters is that it's a proven, relatively simple setup compared with some turbo-heavy competitors, which can translate into fewer big-ticket problems if you maintain it properly. It's not about drag racing, it's about not getting surprised. AWD is the Forester's identity. Subaru's symmetrical AWD is standard, and at a practical level, that means you don't have to pay extra or hunt trims to get real all-weather traction. Power is managed to all 4 wheels for stability and grip, which is money in the bank if you live where weather and road conditions punish front-drive crossovers. Space is also a quiet advantage. Forester packaging is upright and usable, and Subaru's own spec pages emphasize the practical approach. Easy entry, good visibility, and a cargo shape that works in real life. You may not get the flashiest cabin, but you get the kind of layout that stays functional year after year, which reduces the trade-in itch that costs people thousands. Technology is strong where it matters financially. Modern safety systems are a Subaru priority, and that can reduce accident risk and fatigue. Plus, the infotainment updates have improved usability, even if some competitors still have more dazzling graphics. Price: Subaru lists a starting price around $29,995 on its site, depending on trim and destination, while third-party listings commonly show low $30K starts. In 2026 money terms, standard all-wheel drive at that starting point is a big deal, because other brands often charge you to add it. Common complaints: the Forester's acceleration is adequate rather than exciting. Some people simply don't love the feel of CVT behavior, even when tuned well. And the Wilderness trim's fuel economy penalty is real. So if your priority is saving the most money, you don't buy the off-road looking version unless you actually need what it offers. Now, here's the part I want you to think about before you run to the comments. If you had to pick one of these 5 to keep for 5 years with the least financial regret, which one are you choosing? And more importantly, what's your driving reality? Mostly highway at 75 miles per hour, stop-and-go city, snow and hills, or flat suburban errands? Because depending on your answer, the best money saver flips. And in the next video, I'm going to reveal the one SUV category that looks like it saves money in 2026, but quietly costs owners the most once the honeymoon ends. So tell me your situation, and I'll call out which of these 5 is the trap-proof choice for you.